Yeah, so we just won't say where we are.
We won't say that we're doing a sweet-ass show at Madcap's Comedy Club.
Yeah, we won't say that we're in New Smyrna Beach at Madcap's Comedy Club.
Fuck it. He's going to find out eventually.
Yeah. I thought at first, because I was listening to it and didn't realize you put Donald Trump, that you were going to say Donald Evans. And I was like, oh, that's bold. Like, you have beef with Donald Evans. Like, I was ready to see that fight.
These dark one-liners.
Yeah. Like,
dress all in black with long hair.
Yeah.
We can't
there can only be
that.
one. It's like Highlander.
Yeah.
So, I'd watch that.
Just me and Donald Evans beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, forget roast battles. Just you guys just beat the shit out of each other.
So what's I wanted to ask you about Alabama.
Oh man, yeah, Alabama was crazy, dude. It was like a 330 person theater. We didn't sell all those tickets by any means. We sold about 90.
Okay, shit.
So, and it was like the first time they've done something like this.
Yeah.
So, it was really cool. I was gonna bring Jacoby. Broughton out of Tampa, but his wife was having a baby. So
that's gross.
Like,
why would he even tell us that?
Like, check your pullout game, sir. Like, come on. But so he didn't get to come. So it was me and there were 3 other Alabama comics.
Oh yeah.
And
do you know?
And one of them had like. It was his second time to do comedy.
Oh shit! And he's on a show.
And he because he was like from the area. He was like he did a lot of stuff at the theater before, like because it was a community theater. So they're like, let's. And I mean, he crushed it. He did really well.
Oh shit!
That's and impressive. Then he was like 6'5", like 300 something pounds. So like even if he had sucked, I would have been like, you did so good. Because I was intimidated by him.
Yeah.
But then another guy named Ty Funny.
Ty Funny. I feel like I've seen that name around, although there's a lot of like something funny comedians.
So he was good. He black guy, so like he played on the race thing because he was obviously one of the few black people in the audience. And then there was another lady, Bobby Sutton is what she went by. And she was in a bathrobe.
Whoa.
Yeah, like she's like mid-50s.
Okay. Like attractive, like a cougar? Was she like doing a character?
No, yeah, it's like a character.
Okay.
Like she introduced herself to me by her real name, and then she goes, "But I go by Bobby," and I was like, "Cool." Like how do you tell somebody? I like if I was like, "Hey, my name is Patrick, but I go by Patrick." Like I don't really understand that. So
yeah.
But no, she did well. I mean, she was very Alabama, if that makes sense.
Like thick accent. And
thick accent. Played up the like trailer park-esque stuff, and at one point she like pulled out a small bottle of wine from her pocket and like drank it, but like she told me before the show, she's like, it's actually sweet tea, and I was like, girl, I don't really care what you drink, like I'm drinking on stage.
Fucking doing fake shots of wine on stage.
Like next she pulled out a baggie of it and she's like, it's flour, I promise, and starts snorting out. But
that's dedication.
Yeah, she really going all in for that. But no, it was really cool. They flew me up.
Wow.
And put me in a hotel.
What the fuck? Look at you getting star treatment.
I know. They're like, what do you want in your green room? And I was like, I have a green room? And they're like, yeah. I was like, beer? And they're like, okay. And I get there, and then they had like beer and sandwiches.
Wow.
And chips, like, and they're
little
like
deli sandwiches and shit.
Yeah, and like someone made like these like little rolls, like they called them Redneck Sushi, and it was like the little sushi, or not sushi roll, but those little like sandwich rolls like you would eat at like just a party or whatever. Okay. And this lady was like, "Do you want to try one?" I was like, "Oh no, I don't like to eat before I get on stage." And she goes, "You need to try one." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." So I ate it like right in front of her, and she goes, "You liked it, didn't you?" And I was like, "Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am."
There's no other choice in that situation.
Yeah, like I was afraid. So I didn't do the joke I wanted to do. I was too nervous.
Was it playing on Southern people or something?
Yeah, like I'm from Tennessee, but it was a simple. Why do people from Alabama never have sex doggy style?
Why?
You don't turn back on your family.
That's great.
And I was like, I could do that one, but then I was like, I want to be invited back here.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that one. I think they would have liked it, maybe though.
Yeah, I think so. People. I don't know. Most people like laughing at themselves.
Yeah. Like the guy who ran the show, he was a friend of mine from college. He was in my wedding, and he told us, he was like, hey, I want to keep the show to a PG-13 to an R setting. We were like, okay.
PG-13 to R?
And so
that's great.
Yeah, and he was like, I was like, yeah, that's my stuff. And he was like, each person has 4 fucks that they can do throughout the show. And I was like, and so I asked him, I was like, as headliner, can I bank everyone else that they don't use their fucks? And he was like, I'm not sure how that works. So I had 9 fucks at the end of the show.
Damn.
And I used like 7 of them.
Okay.
So
I've counted in my tight 5. I have 2 fucks, a shit, and an asshole.
That sounds like my Thanksgiving. So
yeah, I've tried to do it without it. It just doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't do it for me.
I did a G show the other day.
Oh yeah.
A PG, I guess, but I couldn't cuss.
Was that your first time trying clean?
When I used to be a youth pastor, like I was,
youth pastor. Okay, so you've been on stage performing before.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So when I was a youth pastor, obviously I didn't cuss on stage, but I could still make jokes. But it was like the first time I had done it since I stepped out of that role, and I was just like, oh, a lot of my material is like sex jokes and not even sex jokes, but like relationship jokes.
Yeah.
So it's like, how do I talk about me and my wife having like, it's not like a bad thing. Me and my wife have sex. Woo. But like now I'm sitting there and there's like 12-year-old kids sitting front row. And I'm like, that mommy daddy time. And the mom's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. So.
Damn.
It was weird.
It was at a church?
No, the show, that show was at Sleuths. Dinner Theater. Mystery Dinner Theater. Eric Lutz puts it on or whatever. Okay. Do you know who Eric is? No, he's the blind comic.
No.
He's blind.
I haven't run into this dude.
Well,
I haven't seen him.
Luckily, he wouldn't run into you. He's got his stick. But like, I do that bit where I talk about what's your biggest fear.
Oh yeah.
And a girl said eyes, and I said, well, don't let Eric hear you say that, and everybody started laughing except this little girl who was like 8 sitting front row, and I just leaned down and I was like, it's because he's blind. Do you get it? And her mom was like, she gets it. And I was like, okay. But I didn't know how do you do crowd work G style?
Oh.
Yeah, it was weird.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, most of my crowd work, or I don't know, any of that is just not that I really do much crowd work, but when I try to acknowledge the crowd, it's usually just me fucking cursing.
Yeah. But so after the show, so I did like 39 minutes on stage. Yeah.
This is at the clean show?
No,
Alabama.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, in Alabama. I did like right at 40.
Damn.
Yeah, it felt good.
And how far in are you now?
So I started April 18th, 19th of this year. So
God damn it.
I'm like 6 or 7 months in.
That's impressive.
Thank you.
So you told me you've been writing for a while.
Yeah.
Now, were you specifically writing comedy?
So I guess my story, I started like 10 years ago.
Okay.
So I was in college, and my parents bought me a comedy class at Zany's in Nashville.
Oh, wow.
Like a comedy class. And so it was all about writing. So I started writing and I was like, okay, this will be good. And then right after I started doing some open mics in Nashville. And I mean, I bombed hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It was real bad.
Like right off the bat, first one?
Oh yeah.
Did you get any laughs? The first one?
The very first one, no. I did. So I went up. It was at a coffee house near Belmont University in Nashville. I think it was called the Frothy Monkey. And I got up, and the guy before me had just done 5 minutes of how he wondered what Angel's pubic hair would look like.
Okay.
And like people were laughing. I was like, oh man, I'm going to kill. Like I got this. And I got up and I did my first joke and no one laughed.
Oh.
And then I was like, it's okay, I'll get them on my second joke. No one laughed. Then I did a third joke, and no one laughed. And I looked at the crowd and I went, thank you, that's my time, goodbye. And I walked down the aisle, out the back door, and I never walked back into that place ever again.
Damn.
So I think the place got closed down.
That's probably for the best.
So I would have burned it down if it hadn't.
Have you ever gone back and used those specific jokes again?
Yeah, one of the jokes I did. The Pac-Man joke.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard me do that one. I might do it here tonight. But the Pac-Man joke of, and we'll just call it that, I wrote with a guy, and at the time it was just like, yeah, this is good. And it wasn't put together. So I went to that comedy class, was writing, and then like 2 weeks after graduation, my dad passed away. And then I was like, well, fuck being funny.
Yeah, that takes you out of the mood.
Yeah, and so quit comedy for 10 years.
Damn.
And then went into ministry and all that stuff, and then was like, yeah, this is what I want to do. And then as ministry just kept happening, I was like, church work kind of sucks.
Yeah.
And so got out of church work, and then got into being a behavioral therapist.
Oh, wow.
And then we moved down here. We lived in Indiana, then moved down here, and there was an open mic, and my wife was like, you need to go to that. I was like, I don't know. It's been a while. And she's like, if you hate it, you don't have to come back. But if you like it, keep going. I was like, okay. So I did it, loved it, and I don't know. Have you met Helmet?
Yeah.
Helmet was the one. Here. Yeah, Helmet was the one who had the open mic that night and loved it, and just I've hit the ground running with it. So
fuck yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun.
I'm so happy for you.
Thank you, man. Yeah, it's a blast. So I enjoy doing it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool to find something I'm good at.
Oh yeah.
So like, there's not a lot of that I'm good at.
Nice.
Like, yeah.
I feel the same way. I mean, I tried to do music for fucking 15 years.
Right.
And I just slowly but surely came to the realization I'm not like a
right.
savant. I'm not like I'm
right.
not unless I like somehow write a hit. I'm not gonna be a professional musician.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, like so I went to high school, and the grade below me was Thomas Rhett, the country music artist. He's like really big. Yeah, he's really big, and everybody finds out, they're like, oh, you went to school with Thomas Rhett? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm just like, I wonder if I could ever get there in comedy. Like,
oh yeah,
I know
to be
I
one of
couldn't.
those guys that everyone says, oh, you went to
you went to school with Patrick.
Sisk?
Man, that's awesome. Was he as fat as he was then? Like, I don't know what they would say, but yeah. So
I think you'll get there.
Is it hard to write one-liners?
Yes and no. That's a shitty answer. I think once I have the premise, I can usually, once I figure out what the twist is, I can usually put it into words really quickly.
Okay.
But until I have that twist, or at least a premise,
right,
it's fucking, there's just nothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes, fair. I mean, sometimes I'll sit down and actually like type away at the computer.
Right.
And I'll just, I've started actually trying to do just like long form writing now too. But eventually, like, some little spark will ignite in there.
Right.
And then I'll run with that and develop a one-liner out of it.
Okay.
Have you ever tried one-liners?
I mean, I have a few, like...
Yeah, I thought you did.
Yeah, like, I have a couple in there, but, like, it's not my forte. Like, I do the whole, me and my wife have two beautiful kids.
Oh, yeah.
We have three, but one's ugly as shit.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Which is one of my favorite. And Adam Snare... I don't know if you've ever met him.
No.
He's in Orlando.
Okay.
He was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? And I was like, that's freaking brilliant. Like, it's so easy just to throw in there. But because I'm such a story-driven kind of guy, or topic-driven, I guess, because I talk about my wife, I talk about my kids, I talk about how dumb I am, all the things that come naturally to me, I guess. So...
Yeah, I feel like most of mine centers around my debaucherous behavior or gluttony.
Right.
Gluttony seems to be one of my major themes.
Which, yeah, I saw this picture of you, and you used to be real big.
Yeah, I used to.
How'd you lose the weight? Was it?
I mean, it's kind of been slowly, but I've gone through hitting plateaus of kind of leveling out, but well, first off, fucking no alcohol helps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's a big one.
See, I don't think I can do that.
Yeah,
I like
it's
alcohol a lot.
Tough. I loved it. I
Like-
loved alcohol.
Yeah. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, not
So-
the flavor. I don't give a fuck about the flavor. I just want the effect.
Yeah,
If there was a
exactly.
pill
Oh,
that could
for
make
sure.
me feel what
For
alcohol
sure.
made me feel.
Because like beer tastes like horse piss.
Yeah, I
And,
agree.
like, I
I worked at a craft brewery
Yeah.
for 3
Oh.
years. and-
I never understood when people were like, "Oh, can you taste the chocolate notes?" And I'm like, "I taste horse piss. That's what I taste."
Yeah, those are alcoholics trying to hide their fucking addiction. That's what those are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Shit. And I've spent like the last 2 years trying not to talk shit about beer because of my old coworkers and the owners. They're all nice people.
Oh,
and
yeah,
shit, and I still like them. But yeah, there's a lot of hidden debauchery.
Oh, I'm sure.
In the craft beer
Yeah.
industry. Fuck them. They'll find out eventually. Yeah.
Just like that one guy who's going to find out that you don't want him. You want to eat lunch with them or
Don't
anything.
want to eat lunch with you.
So, ugh.
Yeah. Do you have fuck it. Do you have people you avoid in the comedy scene?
There's only one
Yeah?
right now. Yeah. And he's not funny. And so I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah.
Once we're off here, I'll tell you his name.
Okay.
Because you might know him.
Okay. I'd be interested to know because, I'm trying to think if there's anybody.
And it's just...
And he still tries? He tries and tries?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he thinks he is.
Oh, that's dangerous.
And that's like... But other than that, like, I've been in it... And it's not that, like, I have beef with him. It's just,
Yeah.
Like, I just like, oh, God, I'm going to have to listen to you again. But I don't really think there's anybody I try to avoid, necessarily.
Yeah.
So...
I don't think there's anybody in the Tampa scene. Usually, I feel like those people get weeded out pretty quickly.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think there's anybody I would say is just like straight up never funny.
Right. Like, yeah, it's just, bless his heart. That's all I can say.
He's
Like,
a sweet boy.
Yeah. You can say anything if you say bless his heart.
Yeah.
Like, that baby is missing half its face. Bless its heart. So.
Oh, shit. It's
Yeah.
a good save line.
Yeah. Like, they would have been a good couple if she hadn't had sex with so many black guys. Bless her heart. Like, it's like, that's not what you should be blessing. There's a lot of other things.
Ooh. Man, I've got this risky joke.
Okay.
It's an Epstein joke.
Oh, are you going to tell it tonight?
I don't know. The only place I can figure out where it should go sensibly is in my first 5 minutes. And I feel like if I try a risky joke in the first 5 minutes, I could risk throwing off the rest of my shit.
Yeah. Well, the last time we did this type of show together,
Yeah.
we're on the Lizards Are Weird thing.
Lizards Are Weird tour at Madcap's Comedy Club
yeah,
with
you guys-
Adam Lowry.
Check it out. It's weird. But we were on the All-Star show that one night,
Okay, yeah.
and you went first because there was 4 of us.
Oh, yeah, when it was you, me, Alex Boyce, and Michael Jokum.
Yeah, and like it was all three. Like all three of you just kept getting darker and darker.
Oh, yeah.
And then here comes like Ronald McDonald at the end of it with his Hawaiian shirt, and it worked really well that night though. Like the flow of the show went really well.
I'm glad we did it that way.
Yeah.
Because at first I was thinking, we need Patrick in the
Yeah.
middle to break this shit
Yeah,
up.
I thought that too. I was like, I should probably go right in the middle, or maybe even at the start, but then at the end where I was just like, no, that worked exactly the way it needed to work.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was a good show.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yeah.
I feel like aside from the night where we had the 2 little old ladies.
Oh my God, that was such a weird night.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite nights though.
Really?
Yeah, just because I think I had more fun with you guys. Like you and I like bonded that night.
Yeah.
I think maybe not. You're like, fuck this guy. But no, it was such a good night because it was just dumb.
Yeah, it was dumb. That was by far not the worst show I've ever done.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
I mean, not the worst show I ever did either, for sure. But it was awful.
Yeah.
It was still fun though.
Yeah.
So
It was good to have a crew of guys who enjoyed watching each other
yeah,
suffer through it.
yeah.
That made it bearable.
I think that's why it was fun.
Yeah.
Like if it had been people I didn't know, I would have just been like, oh wow, this is awful. But like I knew all of you because it was me, you, Henry, Helmet.
Who was that? Shoot, kind of older dude. Talks about like being an older guy on dating apps.
Oh yeah.
What's his name?
Marty.
Marty. Yep.
Yeah, and Marty, because we all did like a bridge sets and stuff. Marty did his whole set.
Yeah.
And we were just like, yeah, Marty, get him.
Yeah. He got some good laughs in there with the old ladies. And he was talking them up afterwards.
Yeah,
too.
he was. He was trying to get their number or something. I don't know. I think he's married.
Okay.
But do you want to be still doing comedy when you're like old?
Yeah.
Do you?
I mean, unless I find something else that is as fulfilling as comedy.
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
Like,
what about you?
Yeah, no, like my wife said the other day, she was like, I've never seen you happier. And I was like, ugh, I have 2 kids. So that felt bad. And what she meant, is obvious, like doing something with like a job and stuff. Like, because this is like a second job. I think people think we just get up there and we're like, ha, 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 this is so fun. And it is.
Yeah.
But it also takes time to write these jokes and drive to places.
And then
like,
the waiting for your turn.
Yeah. So, like, this is a job.
Yeah.
And so she was like, this is the most fun I've ever seen you with a job. And I was like, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
And I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So
yeah.
I don't know if I want to do it when I'm really old, though.
Now, do you say that because you're afraid you'll stop writing material, or it just won't come across the same, or you'll lose touch with?
Maybe lose touch a little bit, but like, will I still be funny? Like, will I still have the same value? Like, I think I will, but like, at what point do you, as a comedian, and hopefully I never get there, but at what point do you go, okay, I'm done?
That's tough.
Like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Tom Brady should have hung it up this year.
Yeah.
Like, at least that's what Giselle says. But like, at what point, so professional athletes know when to hang it up, when their body won't allow them to do it. So do we just do it until we die?
Ooh.
As comedians?
Oh, that's tough. I think at some point I'll maybe slow down a little.
Yeah.
I mean, I could maybe get to a point in, I don't know, my 70s or 80s where I'm doing like once a month or something.
And like, plus I also have to get to my 80s.
Oh yeah, you not planning on it?
I don't know. Like I feel like if tomorrow somebody called you, Miles, and they're like, "Hey, Patrick died," you'd be like, "That makes sense."
Yeah.
He was pretty out of shape.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm not like Ralphie May, but But like, when I tell people how old I am, they're like, "Oh."
How old are you?
How old do you think I am?
38.
See, I'm 34.
Okay.
So you were closer, but I get a lot of people that are like, "You're mid 40s, aren't you?" And I'm like,
"Oh."
I'm like, "No, I'm not. Thank you, thank you for that." And welcome to your tape. This is one of my reasons. But yeah, no. I don't know. I don't think I'd want to get to the point where I'm so old that people have to take care of me.
Ooh, yeah, I don't know if I'm having kids, so I don't know if I'll have those people.
I don't think I want my kids taking care of me.
Really? You'd rather hire somebody?
I think like maybe my daughter, but my son's kind of dumb.
Like
he's only 3. He's only 3, but it's like we don't have to save for college for him.
Yeah.
And we like so
maybe he'll step on an oxygen tube or something.
Probably, yeah. Like, yeah, it's real. I mean, like I said, he's only 3, but I think wants to be a dinosaur when he gets older.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's
my nephew. He's 3 right now, and he's kind of at that same point.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah.
He knows more dinosaurs than I've ever fucking known.
Yeah. No, like my son can't speak fully. Like he'll 3-year-old, but he'll be like, "That's a triceratops." I'm like, "You," and then I'm like, "Can you say Patrick?" And he's like, "Meh." I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So, say I love you, buddy. He's like, "I love." I'm like, "You can say pterodactyl, but you can't tell your father you love him."
Well, he's got his priorities set.
I mean, it's understandable, I guess.
Yeah.
So
what's your So you probably love food, I'm guessing, aside from just beer.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a food lover for sure. I love binge eating.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a bomb meal? Do you have a meal that you soothe yourself after you eat shit on stage?
Yeah, I would say either chicken wings
Okay.
or sushi.
Ooh.
I love sushi.
Yeah?
And sushi can always just make me feel better.
Sushi's good. Sushi's definitely a good... And I love wings, too.
Yeah, like those are my two like comfort foods, I think.
Yeah?
Because I try not to like eat, because I could eat and like just start gorging myself, obviously, as anybody could when they're like really sad. But like I always, like I remember I bombed once, and the next day I went to CC's Pizza. And I was like, this is a good idea. And it wasn't.
Yeah.
Like I realized, like,
Now, did you go by yourself? Or
yeah,
did you...
yeah, absolutely. I went by myself.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was one of the low points. And as I sat there, I was like, can't be back here ever again. Like,
Yeah, they'll know this face.
yeah, like this. It felt like I was like, they knew. They were like, we need to watch him. Like he any second might try to hang himself with the cheesy bread.
I used to, I guess I was in college at the time. I used to regularly visit a Chinese buffet by myself.
Ooh, yeah.
And eventually the hostess stopped asking how many.
Oh, that. It's always weird when you go out to eat by yourself, and they're like, how many? And you're like, me. And she's like, oh, you won't have anyone join you? But they just skip that, and they're like, here comes this douchebag again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Have you ever gone to a movie by yourself?
Yes, twice.
I love going to movies by myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I might look like a serial killer, but I really enjoy it because nobody asks me questions.
Ah.
Like, I hate it.
Oh,
My
nobody
wife-
interrupting the fucking movie.
Like my wife does that sometimes. Like, she'll be like, why are they doing that? And I'm like, I am watching the same damn movie you are. Like,
I feel-
movies tell you why they're showing you things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I feel that way sometimes watching a movie with my mom. It's
yeah.
like, well,
Yeah.
we're both seeing the same shit here.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, my mom doesn't like cussing.
Oh,
so I'm
really?
not going to tell her about this podcast.
Oh, no.
But
That'd be for the best.
but she'll do the same thing. She'll be like we'll be watching something, and she's like, I wish he hadn't said that. And I'm like, he cussed, mother. And she's like, yeah, but he shouldn't have said that. And then like the next scene, someone gets murdered, and she's like, do you remember when he said shit? It's like, mother, he just murdered someone, and you're like, heaven for. So I just don't like watching movies with people.
Yeah?
But I love movies, so.
I'm not much of a movie guy, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, maybe it's like a short attention span thing. I feel like recently, I don't know. I just haven't.
Are you a video game guy?
No. Last video game I really, really like binged on was Halo 3.
Oh man,
It was
that game was amazing.
Yeah.
I remember playing that in college, and we would sit in the dorm room for hours, and we would just multiplayer it up, and we had exchange students from Madagascar that lived across the hall from us.
Okay, were they good?
And they were incredible. So one night we were watching Old School with Will Ferrell, and where they start the fraternity or whatever. Have you ever seen it?
I haven't seen the whole. I've seen clips.
And it's a part where Blue dies of a heart attack, and he's wrestling, mud wrestling these two girls who are naked, or their tops are off, and the Madagascar Malagasys walked in at that scene, and they see this and they go, oh, and we were like, what? And they said, can you pause it? And I said, okay, and I paused it. And they went and got a camera and took a picture of the TV screen. And I said, what are you guys doing? They're like, this is our first American boobs.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, okay. And
They don't get American porn in Madagascar?
I don't know. Like that, but it was always so interesting to me because one day one of them walked in the room And they said, Patrick. I said, what? And they said, what is shit? I said, what do you mean? Like, it's like poop. And he was like, no, when I say you piece of shit. I was like, oh, it's a cuss word. He goes, oh, so like shit, damn, fuck. And I was like, yeah, those are cuss words. He goes, oh, that's not good. And I said, what do you mean? He said, I just said that to a professor. And I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not good. Because we were at a Christian college.
Oh.
So I was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't say that again. So it was really cool to teach debauchery to Madagascar kids.
Yeah.
So it, saving one kid at a time.
Yeah, doing the Lord's
Yeah,
work.
exactly.
Damn. Well, shit.
Is that a legit tattoo?
Yeah.
How,
I don't draw it on every day for the joke.
I was wondering.
Yeah, it was gonna be the start of I was gonna do a whole sleeve.
Of smiley faces?
No. Yeah, this was supposed to be the smiley face on top of a slice of pizza that was going to be on top of a pentagram.
Oh, wow.
It was going to work into a whole thing with kind of some armor worked in.
Yeah.
And you know what? Tattoos are kind of stupid.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Are you a tattoo guy?
I only have one, and it's my fraternity letters.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm that big of a douchebag.
Damn. Yeah, that is pretty intense.
Yeah, no, it's douchey. But yeah, I have that, and that's it. And I've always told myself, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get more, and then I'm like, I can do better things with $150.
Yeah,
like a lot better.
Yeah,
so
they're I don't know. I mean, people love them.
Yeah, like no crap against anybody who has them. Like, good for you if you love them. And some people find them like therapeutic, and they're like, oh, I love getting tattoos. I'm like, I mean, I can rub sandpaper on you for $30 and we can call it a day.
Yeah.
So. I
feel like tattoos are an avoidance of other issues going on a lot of the time.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go get more tattoos if it meant that I didn't have to listen to my kids complain.
Yeah?
Yeah, when my kids get really whiny, I would definitely go get another tattoo. They're like, sorry guys, I can't listen to you moan and groan. I'm gonna go get a face tattoo.
Yeah, that'll solve that problem.
Yeah.
How old are they?
6 and 3.
6 and 3.
Yeah, my daughter is 6.
Oh, so there's not a third one.
No, there's really not a third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I only have 2 kids. Which is funny because sometimes I get complaints about that joke.
Really?
Yeah, I've had a lady complain about that joke and be like, your third child, if they ever hear this, will be very upset. And I'm like, that third child doesn't exist.
I mean, you had me fooled. I kind of was laughing at the fact that one day that
kid
third child will hear that.
And maybe like one day, like I'll adopt a kid or something, or we'll have a third one, and I'll be like, that joke was about you, buddy. And just rub their head and be like, all right, get out of here, ugly.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm gonna get fixed soon.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
I've been kind of considering it.
You're 32.
32. I don't think I want any at this point, but that may change in like 5, 6, 7 years. I've heard.
Yeah, which I was told, and I was like, I think I'm good. Like once I'm done, like that surgery, like I don't want to go back through it.
Yeah.
And then go back through it again when I've decided. Like,
yeah.
That's a lot of scalpels around my balls.
Yeah. I've heard it's like a 98% reversal chance.
Yeah.
And it's like 10 times more expensive to reverse.
Is it?
Yeah.
I had a friend who got fixed, or a vasectomy. Yeah, that's the actual, not got a vasectomy and didn't wait the appropriate amount of time. And then got his wife pregnant.
Oh.
And so they had like a 5th kid, and he was like, well, this sucks.
Damn.
And I was like, well, at least you can't have a 6th one.
Yeah. I wonder if he tried to get a refund.
Yeah, I know. Like, at what point do you be like, excuse me? And you just give him that kid. You're like, yeah. This is yours. Yeah. That I don't know. I don't know how that works.
Damn. Yeah. I don't know. My brother has one. They're considering maybe a second, maybe.
Right.
But
see, we had a boy, or we had our girl, and then we had our boy, and it was like, okay, we've had one of each. Like we have that ideal family, the boy and a girl, and I think maybe if I had had two girls, I would have tried for another. Like,
Really?
I think I
You
would have wanted
felt
that
unfulfilled?
boy. Yeah, or if I had had a boy first, and I, so I don't know. I hopefully I didn't have to find out. So, and hopefully never have to have more.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
don't get me wrong, they're great. I love my kids, but like, ugh.
Now, were you set on having kids before you had kids? Were you like, I'm definitely going to have kids?
I think I wanted kids, and my wife wanted kids for sure. So, and like the thing for us was, like, I was a typical guy. She was like, do you want to start having kids? Or trying to have kids? I was like, yeah. Thinking, I get sex all the time. Yeah. This is gonna be awesome. And like the first month we tried with our daughter, she got pregnant.
Wow,
and I was
that's impressive.
Yeah,
I've heard that people trying on like they have to go through. I don't know. It takes a while when you're trying.
Yeah, like first month, like she had already like done her like counting the cycle, whatever. So like she knew and all that stuff but like, and I've had friends who have done the same things, but for years can't have kids and stuff. So first month, and she was like, "We're pregnant." I was like, "Oh, cool." And then
you're kind of hoping it would take a while.
I was like,
longer.
I wanted a couple of months of this at least, and then when it came around, we were like, all right. She was like, "Do you want to have a second one?" I was like, "Yeah!" And I got excited. I was like, "Here we go, first fucking month again." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm a sure thing."
Yeah.
So like, I punched that ticket.
At least you both know you're healthy.
Yeah. So I mean, ugh. Yeah. I want it. I mean, and it's so hard to have sex, or not even just sex, but just like a relationship with your wife, whether it's like sitting on the couch next to each other without two kids like climbing all over you, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is
it's romance plus.
Yeah, exactly. Like, oof.
Yeah, I just want to get to the romance part. Fucking, my relationships are few and far between.
Is there a lady in your life right now?
No. I probably wouldn't be doing this so much if there was. Well, no, not at this point. At this point, I'm more set at this. My priorities are comedy, family, music, and then relationships are like fucking way down here.
See, and that's tough because like I want comedy to be higher. And I think you and Henry talked about this, because it spreads out your focus on things. Yeah. And so my relationship with my wife is first, then my relationship with my kids, and then comedy. And sometimes it's tough because I'm like, oh, I want comedy to be up here, even number one, and I have to like prioritize and go, okay, I got to take a step back. And my wife is great about letting me do what I want to do. Like when I told her I was like, hey, I'm going to Alabama, she was like, that's awesome. Like the other day I found out that I'm going to be in a comedy festival in Texas.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So
have you been submitting to festivals?
Yeah, a few. Yeah. So here and there. So I get rejected more than I do anything.
I think that's probably standard.
Yeah. And which I don't know how important festivals are. Like,
I don't know.
Like I've read some things where they're like, yeah, you should go to them. Then I've read some that I was like, screw it. But so I got accepted to the Tower City.
Oh fuck
one in Paris, Texas. Yeah. And so I'm pretty excited about it. Hooker is actually.
Is he on it?
Yeah, he got accepted to that one too. So, so I'm like, man, this is gonna be awesome. And I was like, oh crap, now I gotta tell my wife. Like and I told her, and like she couldn't be more supportive. She was like, that's so awesome. Yeah. Like I'll make sure I'm off of work for it. Let's book your plane tickets as soon as we can. And so I'm like, that's really cool. Like I don't know if I could do as much or if I would be where I am in comedy if it wasn't for having a supportive person by me, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like because I'd probably just be miserable at home instead.
You might have not even gone back to try it again.
Exactly. So it's one of those things where she's been very supportive, very just, she's my biggest fan, minus the fact that she's only been to 2 shows.
Really?
Yeah, she's only been to 2 of my shows. She went to one at where was it? It was Kevin Dean's room in St. Cloud.
Okay, I don't know.
He
I
did
don't know shit about the Orlando scene.
Yeah, man, it's
I come out here way more.
yeah.
I don't know why I just skip right over.
Yeah, you're fuck Orlando. And then she came to the Pink Piano.
Okay.
I did the Pink Piano. We had our anniversary cruise.
Did you take the kids?
No.
Oh, nice.
We sent them to her dad's, who lives in Northport, and so I was like, hey, Dick Johnson asked me to be on this Pink Piano show. I was like, and if we got to go pick up the kids in Northport, we could stop there, do a show, and she's like, okay, sure. And so she got to come. There was like 8 people at the show that night.
Was this this last month?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I heard about that show.
And
my buddy Steve Sargent was.
Okay. Yeah. I really liked him.
Yeah.
He did really well.
He's another high energy guy.
Yeah. And then there was another guy on there that like was crazy.
Crazy. Okay. I wish I remembered the lineup off the top of my head.
I mean, I'll go ahead and say his name.
Yeah? Who's crazy?
It was Diamond Dean.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Diamond Dean is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Like, my wife didn't think he was funny at all.
Yeah?
But I thought he was hilarious. Because I think awkward humor and all that stuff is fantastic. But, like, my wife was like, what the hell is going on? And I was like, yeah, welcome to comedy, baby.
Yeah.
So,
he's a trip. He
has different personalities, I've heard.
Yeah, the first time I saw him, he was going by Dino Casino, which is similar to Diamond Dean.
Right, yeah.
They're like cousins or something.
He has this whole, like, fantasy world. That's awesome.
And he also has a character called Bull Dino.
Bull Dino.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just Bull Dean. I forget. But he goes on stage with his shirt on backwards, like a button-up shirt, like done up backwards, and like a bull hat. Like probably something you'd see at like a USF Bulls game or something.
Wow.
Like a big fuzzy hat with like...
Does he look like the guy storming the Capitol? Like that one guy?
Oh, yeah, kind of. Yeah. That style hat.
Wow. He's incredible.
Yeah, he's been around a while too.
Yeah. I was talking to him and I was like, man, I love your stuff. And he was like, oh, thank you. And I was like, my wife didn't, but I loved your stuff.
Okay. Well, I felt bad. I was going to cut out the part about your wife not liking him for his sake, but if he already knows, fuck it.
I think so.
Yeah, he probably won't listen to this shit.
You can cut it out or not. I mean, he won't even remember.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. It's one part. Like, I guess, though, like, I'm okay with people not liking my stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with it, too.
Like, if I don't make everybody laugh, okay, I'm okay with that. Like, I think as a people pleaser, I want everyone to like me. But, like, if somebody's like, you're not funny, like, it pisses me off because I know I am.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like, whatever. Like, I think I've gotten past the point. Like, I know who I am enough to know that if I bomb on a night, it's not because I wasn't funny. It was just because I had an off night or the crowd wasn't feeling it or whatever. So, like, I don't blame myself.
I think I'm just starting to get over that.
Right.
Like, when I bomb, it's not like, am I even funny?
Right.
It's like, this just wasn't my night. They gain the experience, move on to the next one.
I think what helped me with that is it was church work.
Yeah?
Yeah, because
You bombed a lot in church?
I bombed so many. No, so many baptisms. I would just be like, crap, where'd the kid go? No,
Whoops.
I was like, catch, and shot one out of a t-shirt cannon. It did not go well. No, but like, I guess I had to play to so many different groups of people, and like I remember I did a sermon once. Like, I preached. They're like, can you preach? I was like, yeah. And a guy came up to me after the sermon and goes, man, you're really funny. I said, thank you so much, man. He said, that wasn't a compliment. And I said, I sounded like a compliment to me, but I apologize for being funny. And but I just remember going, God, like some old people, like they did a survey at our church. And someone said, and you could tell it was an old person because it was an anonymous survey, and it said, I like Patrick, but he dresses like a tramp. And and my wife like was super offended. She read that and she was like, "What do you mean? How do you dress slutty?" And I was like, "Baby, I think they mean homeless."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh." And I was like, she was like, "Okay." I was like, "Oh wait, so you're fine with that?" But it was like, how dare you say my husband dresses slutty? Like one of my friends was like, "Well, you don't dress slutty enough for me." And I was like, "Thanks, man."
Were you long hair and beard back then too?
Beard, but short hair.
Okay.
So this is the longest my hair has ever been. But yeah, no, I had short hair and I had a pretty good beard, so probably a little maybe thicker than this, but nothing too bad. So
well, I went to a church for a long time. Well, not a long time, like 7 to 14. My family was like solid.
Right.
3 times a week we were at the church, sort of people, and it was non-denominational, and it was a lot of. It was like an old neighborhood church that was slowly transforming. So there's still a lot of like the 90-year-old ladies there.
Yeah.
And when we had a substitute preacher come in who was not a white man,
oh man,
it got awkward.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, people.
I'm sure black church is just different.
Yeah.
It's like black church, and like, and the same goes for like a black comedy room.
Oh yeah.
Like it's just a different like group of people, like obviously, but like it's just a different scene.
Yeah, I had my worst bomb in a black room in New Orleans.
Oh really? Oh.
Yep. Like I started with like my regular type 5, and the first joke went well. It was the weed joke, and then I went right into my next joke, which was a dick joke, and they didn't like that. And then I did a couple more dick jokes, and
did they boo you?
They didn't boo me, but people turned their chairs away from me.
Oh my gosh.
And then the last joke, I was like, all right, I got the light. I guess I got one more joke. And I did the last joke, and the host fake laughed at me. I was like, oh, that felt real bad.
Oh man. I don't remember where I was, but somebody got the light recently at a show I was at, and they said, "Oh, I guess I have one more time. I have a time for one more joke," and they had been bombing the whole time, and somebody goes, "You know you don't have to." And I was like, "Oh my God." Oh. And it was like someone from the crowd who wasn't a comedian. Whoa! And I was like, "Oh, you just got owned by a civilian."
Yeah. So that's incredible.
But no, yeah. So I'm actually on this Friday, I'm the only white comedian on this ticket.
Oh yeah.
For a show at the Rosen Event Center.
Rosen Event Center.
It's in Orlando.
Okay.
But like Jacoby's, it's Orlando versus Tampa.
Gotcha.
And so Jacoby's on that show, and then there's 2 other, like DC 816 or something like that. Or I don't know, but like I'm the only white guy. Ken Miller. I don't know if you know who he is.
I see the name around. He like headlines clubs, right? Okay.
So he's one of, and then this guy named Ed Lover, from like the old MTV days.
Okay.
Is like the host, and I'm like you look at the poster and you see all these like black guys who are like, and then you see me and I'm like, hey! So like it's like, oh man, like they just needed someone to talk to the cops if they show up. Like,
that makes
sense. Go talk to them. I'm like, hey guys, they're with me. It's fine. So I don't know. It's gonna be a weird show though. I love doing those rooms. So
yeah,
absolutely.
I've also had a great show in a black room.
Yeah,
but not that particular one that night.
I would have paid money to. Were you the only white guy in there?
There was one more, and he made it kind of work. He didn't get a lot of laughs, but he didn't make them not like him.
Right.
And then there was a Hispanic dude, and then like the other regulars in that.
Yeah. I've been told multiple times, like one of the greatest things I've ever been told is that I'm black people funny.
Yeah?
Yeah. I've been told by multiple black people, and I'm like, that's the coolest thing that I've ever been told. And again, I have 2 children.
Yeah.
I am married and I have 2 children, but like that, and then I went to I performed at a gay club recently.
Oh yeah.
And
was it Greg's room?
Yeah, Greg's room. And
nice.
Greg runs a tremendous room.
Oh yeah, I did one of his shows there.
And a guy in the front row went like this. And I was like, oh, and I would have slept with the guy if he'd asked me at that point. I was like, yeah, I'm game.
That's better than an applause break.
Exactly. But like he was like happy, and I was like, I've never been gay snapped before, and I don't know if they call that something, but like he was very into it, and I was like, I will meet you in the bathroom right now.
I know I'm going to be Googling gay snap later. Try to figure out if
Yeah.
there's a term for that.
I don't really know. I might text Greg. Just be like, hey, the gay snap. What is that called? So.
Yeah, that's a cool room. We had a good crowd there too. Like people kept coming in. Like people were like, "Oh, there's a comedy show going on," and they came in and they stayed in.
Yeah,
they were into it.
Yeah, I really like that room, and it's the rooms like that like kind of surprise you. That you're like, oh, this is really cool.
Yeah, especially when you hear there's a room like in a bar.
Yeah,
it's like, what is this gonna be?
Yeah, because you get into some of those like some of those places that are like a restaurant too, and they're like you get up to do comedy, and the person's like, why are you talking while I'm trying to eat? And it's like,
hope you like cum jokes during your cheesecake.
Exactly. Yeah, it's. I'm going to talk about buttholes now, sir. Get ready for that spaghetti entree that you ordered. I don't. Yeah. So, doing comedy. Where's the weirdest place you've done comedy?
Weirdest.
Is there like a weird place, I guess?
I haven't done like a really weird place. There was a burger joint in Atlanta I did. It was on like it was the black burger joint too.
Oh yeah.
I just saw their list of mics and I was like, here, that's the first one.
Yeah.
And I went. I was like, oh well, I did really well.
Yeah.
And
I don't think a burger place is the weirdest thing I think I've done. I don't think. Yeah, but yeah, no, that's. I love the stories that you can tell from comedy too. Like I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, the show isn't that great. We only have 40 people," and I'm like, "I've done a show with 2 people before, so it's okay." And they're like, "Oh, okay." So it's those stories that you tell that that I love, or like how when we did the first Lizards Are Weird thing, like that was nobody knew exactly what we were going to do, but it turned out amazing.
Yeah, that was one of my. I don't know, one of the coolest nights of comedy.
Yeah. Like I absolutely, and if we could recreate that, then I'm all for doing that all the time. But it's like that was just like everything perfect lined up that night. And I mean, we ended with a musical number.
Yeah.
So,
dude, I watched Henry's video, the one that kind of like panned all of us.
Yeah.
And that gave me chills.
Yeah. It was like one of those like clips you would see at the end of a movie. Where like a documentary of where they're, but as it came up, it freezes on you, and it was like 3 months after this, Miles overdosed, and then like Patrick went on to be a swinger, and it was like but like it was
got the shirt for it.
Yeah, I do. But that was a cool night, and I can't wait to be able to do that. Are you coming tomorrow?
I'll be here tomorrow.
See, I can't make it tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to make it next week.
Yeah, I'm gonna try for every other week.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Okay.
And I got an idea for tomorrow. I'm going to do a new song I've been working on, but then by the end of the night, I'm going to bring an easel with a pad and see if all the comedians will help me write a song during the show.
Oh, that's a cool concept.
And then maybe take it up to try to end the show with a song that was like put together in the room.
That's a cool. I like that. I really want to do a roast battle between people in the crowd.
Between people in the crowd.
Yeah, I want
crowd on crowd violence.
Like I want to be like, you sir and you ma'am, come on up, and just watch just
insult each other.
Yeah, go tell her she's fat. Go sir, or I don't know, but like. And I don't know how it would work and if it would even work, but that's what's so cool about that show is that like anything goes.
Yeah.
And so
it's tough for me because I'm a guy who likes to do the material.
Right.
Like Zach was trying to do.
Yeah. He kept trying to power through, and we weren't letting him do that. But no, it was very uncomfortable at first. It was, but it turned it out to be really cool at the end.
Yeah.
So.
Well, shit, I think we're almost done.
Are we? Man, this has been amazing.
Yeah, thanks. I'm happy we got to hang out in my backseat.
Yeah, man. Anytime you want me in your backseat,
all right.
You just let me know.
Hell yeah.
So.
Where do you want to be in 5 years?
I think I want to be. I want to be traveling doing comedy full time.
Fuck yeah.
I actually just found out this week. And by this week, I mean yesterday, that I have my first headline weekend.
Whoa.
Next year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is it here?
It's here.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, May 5th and 6th. I'm going to headline here at Madcaps.
Nice.
Which I'm super excited about. And been working my ass off writing material and seeing what works and what doesn't.
I mean, it's impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just now like, I think I'm comfortable with 20 minutes, and I'm 2 years in.
Right.
So.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely it's been tough. Like but like my kids help me so much. Because they do so much, and it's like, that's funny, and I'll write it down, or I work with kids with autism, and they're some of the funniest kids, and so I take what they do and just make it, my kids did this, so it worked. Like I use life stories and then make it my own, but yeah, no, in 5 years I definitely want to be traveling, doing comedy full time, and kind seeing the world, and I don't know if I'll go ahead and be bold enough to say that I want to be doing my own tour.
Fuck yeah.
So, what about you?
I definitely want to have something recorded by 5 years. I'm not sure exactly what, because the format for what a special is getting It's evolving.
Everybody has a special.
Yeah,
and like, would you push that special out?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna hit up. I'm so bad at promoting myself, but I feel like if I had a special, I would hit up anyone with a podcast, any big comedian, like things way out of my ballpark.
Yeah, you calling up Kevin Hart, being like, "Hey, Kevin,
check out this shit."
He's like, "Who are you?" And you're like, "You won't know until you watch it," and you just, kind of sounds intimidating, but.
So that definitely was something recorded, whatever the format may be, and. Edinburgh, the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Yeah.
I've heard that's amazing. Yeah. That like comedy just happens all over the city.
Yep.
Like I really want to do that. So we can do that together.
All right.
Let's.
Fuck yeah.
Bam.
Hell yeah.
Maybe you can do like a cool sound effect when we hit our hands together.
All right. That's a good idea.
You want to do it again?
All right. One more time.
Boom.
You mean with my mouth, or I was going to insert it?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Here,
all right.
Well, let's.
I'll find something good.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
All right. Well, this was sweet.
Yeah.
Thanks you so much.
Thank you, and thank you.
Hey, gluttons. Check out what we got going on. Check out Patrick Sisk, and he's at Instagram on_. No, that's not it. He's on Instagram at Patrick Sisk _comedy. That's easy enough. Check it. Check out halfcashbowl.com. Check out Half-Cashbowl Records on Instagram at Half-Cashbowl Records. Who would have thought? YouTube, we got that. You're probably there right now. Spotify. All right, bye.